Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining me is Ted Hammond, my right-hand man, and a special guest.
Yep, I found her in the hills of Lee Sue Henderson. Her name is Haley Bales. She comes from Joel Hafer's counterpart there. She came to see him at the show today, and obviously she said, I don't see him. Where is he?
Looks like one of Hafe's old girlfriends in high school.
yeah, she dressed up pretty sharp. Okay, nice dress and everything.
Well, let's get right into football, Teddy, because as hard as it is to believe, the regular season is complete.
Poof.
Unbelievable. Let's start with Waseca Blue Jays. They finished out another 7-1 year. We went back, Teddy, I believe the last 3 regular seasons, Waseca is 22-2.
I know you're right there.
Unbelievable, huh? They beat Fairmont 46-12. Fairmont finished 5-3. Once again, we had the potent rushing attack. I unofficially had us for 545 yards rushing and did not throw a pass.
I thought we threw one.
Nope, he went back to throw one and pulled it down.
Oh, no. We had a completion. We had a penalty on the play. We had a completion of Oakmer. And Dufall really took a shot. Holy cow on that one. I was surprised he got up on that. But, yeah, we don't need to throw the ball, but obviously in playoffs we're going to have to throw some. And we have to work on that. But next team we're probably going to work on against is Hutch. We'll see what happens.
Milbrett finished with about 240-plus yards on the ground.
Isn't he fun to watch?
Dufault about 150 yards on the ground. It's becoming a real potent 1-2 attack. Well, and then old battering hardware Hank plows up the middle every now and then just to keep everybody honest.
We're trying to always come up with nicknames for things on the team. And so Hank comes up to me about halfway through the third quarter and says, hey, we want to be called the Trivecta. And I said, do you even know what a Trivecta is? And he laughs. And that's what they want to be known as. They got the Dufault and they got Jack running up all over the place. And then you got Hardware hammering up the middle. So they call him Hardware Hank.
Waterville, Legion, Morristown. We'll come back to sections in a minute, Teddy. But the Buccaneers, John Bakken's crew, 8-0 regular season. They defeated a pretty good Mayor Lutheran team, 33-14 on Thursday night. We went up and broadcast that one. So luckily, first time I got to see Waterville play in person this year. Same old Bucks. John Bakken is really a fabulous play caller.
Yes, he is.
He knows what to do, when to do it, and if he finds something that works, he has no qualms about running that play 10 times in a row till you stop it.
Packer sweep.
Yeah.
The Packers say, here it comes. Stop us if you can.
Mitch Walter. He's about a 210-pounder, maybe 5'10". Honest to God, Teddy, I would say 4 or 5 times during the game, Mayor Lutheran met him solidly, both arms around him, and he bounced off and went another 8-10 yards. Mitch the Beast, we called him, finished with 241 yards on the ground.
Nice.
The Bucks also scored an interception. It's their 7th defensive touchdown of the year.
Was it that Zach Olson?
Nope, it was Taylor Glendy.
All right.
So Waterville, 8-0, had not much problem with anybody.
No.
New Richland one touchdown game was about the closest game they had.
Yep.
NRHEG finished, and wait till we talk about that section, but the Panthers finished 6-2. They lost to Maple River, a 7-1 team, 24-23. And in the final minute, the Bucks threw a 47-yard TD pass, only to have it called back for an illegal formation.
The Bucks?
The Panthers.
Oh,
excuse me.
Jeez, I've got my name.
Now, how heartbreaking is that? You score and all of a sudden, no.
Yes.
The Panthers held Maple River to 163 total yards and lost that game.
And Maple River won 2 games in a row then. They had a Hail Mary the week before. They won that game.
Maple River had 12 yards on the ground for the game. And the Panthers, John Schultz is probably still recovering because Palmer Peterson threw it 32 times. And John, when he was head coach, might have been 2 seasons worth right there, 32 times in the air. So tough one for the Panthers to lose on, but they finished an outstanding year, 6-2. And finally, JWP, 1-7. They lost to Mankato Loyola 19-12. Of course, the highlight is Tommy Gannon rushed for 206 yards, and that is the 7th time in 8 games that he went over 100, Teddy. His becomes the first 1,000-yard rusher at JWP since 2009.
You know who that was?
Trevor Trainer.
Very good.
Thought you had me, didn't
I
you?
did. I did.
The Bulldogs ran 20 more plays in the game, and they had 333 yards on the ground.
Yep.
And could not win.
And Noah Ratar, you see him in basketball, also a point guard for Loyola. He's a gamer, but I guess there's a couple turnovers at the end for the Bulldogs that doomed them at the end. But, so they thought they're going to beat them. They had a good feel about it, but didn't pan out.
JWP finishes 1-7, and now we're at playoff time, and JWP will open on Wednesday. They are the 8th seed in Section 2A. All they have to do is go to the top seed, New Ulm Cathedral, who is 7-1, and play their first game.
I can identify with that because I was coaching at JWP a long time ago, and we played New Ulm Cathedral first round of the playoffs, much similar to this, okay? And we had a chance to beat him with a field goal, and we had an Italian kicker, foreign exchange student, and he didn't like the cold weather. And unfortunately, it was pretty cold that night at Johnson Field over in New Ulm. And he warmed up in the New Ulm locker room. He went in there because it was warmer under the grandstands in our bus. And then when it came time to kick the field goal, he couldn't even run out in the field, let alone try to kick the field goal. He was frozen stiff. But we had a chance to beat him, and so, hey, all you have to do is show up for the tournaments, and if one team got foul weather, something like that, look out.
You bet. Section 2 AA, Waterville, Elysian, Morristown, and NRHEG, both in the same section, and that team has 8 teams in the section, so everyone plays the first night, Wednesday. The Bucks, of course, the number 1 seed at 8-0, they'll be at home and take on 0-8 Medford in their opening round. NRHEG, this is kind of hard. They're 6-2, and they get the 4th seed in their section.
That section's loaded.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Yep. They will also be at home. They play Blue Earth of the old SCC. The Bucks finished 4-4 for the year, so both NRHEG and Waterville be home. And remember, the first round is Wednesday this year. Usually we open on a Tuesday, but it's Wednesday, the following Tuesday, the following Saturday is the way it's set up this year.
That's correct.
And Waseca, thanks probably to Hutchinson losing 21-20 to Annandale on the final night. I just had a sneaking feeling, Teddy, that if we were 7-1 and Hutch was 6-2, they would have got the 2nd seed. I just had that feeling.
Didn't work out that way.
No. So Hutch ends up 5-3. They will have to play in the first round. Marshall, the number 1 seed, and of course we should talk about that too, and probably the shocker of the state Friday night. Belle Plaine defeated Marshall 39-35, and when Don and I got that score, my first thought was, I'll bet that big 6'5" quarterback just went wild. And he did.
And he did, but also Marshall lost to Himaleski, the big stud receiver going to the University of Minnesota, and they say they lost their quarterback too. And then they think, I don't know, this is all conjecture on, your Twitters and your Ziggies and everything else that people are using on the sidelines. But they said that the backup quarterback threw a pick 6 near the end of the game. That's the rumor was, folks. Okay. So that definitely hurts Marshall if they lost the quarterback.
Marshall 7-1. They're the number 1 seed. Waseca 7-1. They're the number 2 seed. Both of them have byes. They do not play Wednesday. Hutchinson finishes as the number 3 seed. They will be at home against winless New Ulm. And then the 4th seed is Mankato East. They will be at home against Faribault, which just got its first win on Friday night. So the following Tuesday, a week from Tuesday, Waseca will be at home. They'll have a home game, and in all cases but one wild one, they will be playing Hutchinson on Wednesday night at home. Marshall will probably be playing Mankato East at home in the semis.
That's how it works. Now, you're talking about Faribault. Okay, who is the only Heisman Trophy winner from the University
Bruce
of Minnesota?
Smith.
And where's he from?
Faribault.
Very good.
You betcha.
Yep.
Yep, way back.
A long time ago.
Yep. Well, let's move on to volleyball, Teddy.
All
we
right.
got that football situation all straightened out. Everybody knows where everybody's going on Wednesday.
Thanks to you.
WEM, Crystal Lamont's crew, 24-3 for the year, Ted.
Yep.
All they did last week was defeat LeSueur 3-1, defeated Blooming Prairie 3-0, and then yesterday went to a tournament at Cannon Falls and won 4 straight games there to come home with top honors. 24-3 this season. What a year they're having.
Talk about peaking at the right time.
Wow, they've peaked all year long, haven't they? They will be Tuesday, travel to Medford, and I think Medford's pretty good in volleyball this year.
Really?
They only have a couple losses.
Well, the Tigers are wagging their tail.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we got to mention a couple people from Waterville team.
Okay.
Okay. You know, you got Rayana Harmon. Okay. You got that Kendall girl. Okay. Who else you got? You got a Pittman showed up in the stats the other day, okay? And they had a Dominowski showed up in the stats. They had an Olsen show up in the stats. I mean, usually going with the big 3 there.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, now these other girls are saying, hey, you know.
We want some
We want some of the action. So they're really rolling right now.
Yep. Unfortunately, they will be in the same section with Faribault BA.
That's off to France, okay?
Waseca, the Blue Jays are 4-9 for the year. And Ted, it's Lindsay Pexa. Is the coach's name. Lindsay Pexa. P-E-X-A.
Pexa, okay.
4-9.
Yeah, remember that.
The Jays only had 3 wins all of last season in volleyball.
Yep.
They're 4-9 right now. They defeated St. Peter last week in five games, and then they lost to TCU 3-1.
Cobras.
Titans.
I thought it was the Cobras.
Titans.
Okay. You're right.
They have the whole week off. A week from Tuesday, or a week from Monday, they will play WEM.
All right.
At Waterville.
You know, the Blue Jays have won like 4 of their last 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they're running 5 setters,
Yep.
which is a good omen.
Yep, very good.
Yep.
NRHEG, they are 11-11 this season. The Panthers had only 1 match last week. Faribault BA, 3-0. Tuesday, they traveled down to Wells to tangle with USC. And JWP's run into some tough going. They've lost 8 of their last 9. They've lost, Teddy.
Yeah.
They were, I think, 5-3 at one time, were they not?
Yep.
They're now 6-11 for the year. They lost to Alden 3-0. They lost to Grenada Huntley East Chain 3-1. And tomorrow night they travel to Cleveland to face the Clippers.
All right. Sail on over there.
Tennis, the Blue Jays were shocked in the first round of the section.
You know what that reminded me of? When Lakeville North took out #1 seed Waseca girls.
Yeah. Wasn't quite that bad, but that was bad.
Still a shocker.
Yeah. The Jays were the 7th seed. They were at home against 10th seeded Rochester JM. They lost 4-3, ending their team season. Finished with 11-5 season, pretty good year for Kyle and the crew. They have the individual now section plays. I think you get 2 singles players, 2 doubles teams.
Yep.
Thursday, I think, at Rochester.
And our doubles players have to play each other.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yep. Soccer teams, they will be getting into tournament action as well. The boys soccer team, 10 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie for the year. They lost to Lourdes 3-2. We figured that would be a good game.
But they were ahead 2-0.
Yep. They defeated Fairmont 11-0.
Yep.
And then they lost to St. Peter 2-1. So a couple of 1-goal losses for the boys teams last week. They have seeded now for the tournament. They're the #4 seed in Section 2A. Thursday, they have Albert Lee, the 5th seed, coming to town. So that should be a pretty good first-round match.
4-5s are always supposedly the closest.
Yep. The girls from Waseca, 8 wins, 7 losses, 1 tie. They defeated Fairmont 4-1, and they lost to St. Peter 4-1 last week. They are the 5th seed in Section 2A, and they have Fairmont coming to town. Fairmont, they've defeated twice this year, 1-0, 4-1. So their first-round game, I think, also is Thursday at home against Fairmont.
How did if Fairmont was the 4th seed, how did Waseca get a home game?
Oh, Fairmont. No, I think that section there must be more than 8 in there. So,
just curious.
Yep. And cross country, Teddy, your specialty.
No, not this week. Meyer didn't show and give me any report.
The Waseca, good thing I did a little research then, huh?
Okay.
The Waseca Invite was last week out at Lakeside. In the boys division, the Waseca boys were first out of 9 teams. The WEM/JWP boys were 7th, and the NRHE boys were 8th at the Waseca Invite. Didn't see any individual stuff, though.
Is Brad Root the cross-country coach in New Richland?
Oh, nope,
okay. Because I usually see him on the golf course, so I was just wondering.
In the girls division at the Waseca Invite, 9 teams as well. The Waseca girls were 2nd. I think Faribault won the meet. The Waterville Elysian/JWP girls were 4th out of 9 teams, and NRHEG was 8th. And like I mentioned, I didn't see if Tierney had another win.
I would guess she did.
Yeah, probably. But
I guess 2 of the girls had to have medical attention out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't that hot of weather.
No.
But yeah, not a good one for Joe Hedevar in his first meet he had out there.
Everybody will be in action Tuesday this week as far as cross country. The Waseca team is at Mankato. The NRHEG team is at Freeborn. And the WEM/JWP runs at Madelia. So, I don't know. I got to get together with Gary and find out where they're being posted this year, because they aren't on Apple Raspberry Jam or whatever that is. That was the top cross country site, but none of Waseca's have been on there all year. So, anything else local, Teddy, that you can think of?
Let's see. We're going to do college or not?
We're going to do the big time next.
Okay, we're going to do the JV and the C squad for Waseca football? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, that's right. Teddy's
Is this time for it right now?
9th grade team is 7-0.
Yep, going to Fairmont tomorrow. This is Sunday morning, folks. We got to make the long trip down there, and the Cardinals are going to be, they whoop on. Last week we played Worthington, and I went to see the Worthington coaches. They came to our place, and there they are going over all of our varsity plays from the previous Friday night, and I'm thinking, row, we're in trouble. And they're doing every play we do because we have the whole system in place. And we struggled against them, and I got a feeling Fairmont, and I was looking at film this weekend saying, okay, here's their freshman and the sophomore play right after us. So we end our season. We lost Bo Milbrett, our key running back and linebacker, but kids will have to adapt. We have to come back, and B squad is also, I mean, they're sitting there with 1 loss.
6-1.
Yep, so we'd both like to come away with the final season game against Fairmont with a win. That'd be nice.
Boy, phenomenal football years for the Waseca program this year.
Peter program's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah. Well, let's move to college, Teddy. And
all right.
We had some great football yesterday. What a day it would have been to be at a game, huh? Yesterday.
Gorgeous.
MSU Mankato had homecoming. They defeated Augustana 35-27 to go to 6-0. And I understand that the 2-quarterback system was in effect yesterday. And Coach Hefner said for the first time all year, they both played really well.
Well, Lloyd, he said he's been nursing a shoulder injury, and yesterday they said it's the first time he felt 100%. So he went the first 3, basically, and then he got cramped up, I guess, in the 4th quarter, and Piracuni came in there and led him on a couple key drives at the end of the game to solidify the victory. But they gave up points in the second half.
For the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yep. Over 7,000 people were there. It was a Blakesley Stadium record yesterday.
Ring that victory bell, baby.
Yeah, you can understand that. They go to Concordia St. Paul next week, and I think Concordia's only won 1 game. Yeah. So should be a 7-0 start for the Mavs.
For the number 1.
The Golden Gusties, 6-0. They racked up, 53 or something again yesterday against Carleton. Wow. And if you want to go to a Saturday afternoon game, there is a great stadium to watch.
Oh, yeah.
A great small college stadium. They have hillsides that you can sit on if you want in the sun. Oh, it's just a fabulous atmosphere over there.
I used to think St. John's is pretty nice, but this outshines that.
And I think it said the Gusties were 6-0 for the 2nd straight year. They've started 6-0 now. So,
but then they didn't finish real well.
No, and their schedule gets much tougher because this week they go to St. John's, and I think they close with St. Thomas. So they've got the meat of their schedule coming up. But boy, if you like to see points, the Golden Gusties put it up in the air, and they score lots of points.
And they got a running game to complement it, too. It opens that up.
Fabulous. Yep. The Golden Gophers. Hey, they finally figured out what the word offense meant. thanks to a running back.
Not to be offensive, okay. Yeah, thank God.
Racked up, topped the 40-point mark against Purdue, and after the opening drive, the defense played really well too. So,
did you see that Brooks on the play where he just destroyed
Yes.
two D-backs that came up on him? He just ran right through them.
you got to love him because
Lord.
he's not looking for openings. He's
Nope.
looking to punish somebody.
And we were watching, he reminded me of Jack Milbreth the other night. There were kids from Fairmont that didn't want to him.
Right.
They kind of ran with him, but they wouldn't put their shoulder into him. So, yeah, this Brooks, what was the other guy's name? Smith? Something Smith?
Smith, yeah.
Yeah, the big book. That was the guy that was going to put their money on this year to run the ball.
Yep.
And this Brooks is just taking over.
Yep. Leidner and all the quarterback talk.
He was what, 6 for 8?
Yeah, they just kind of had him float out a little short pass whenever they needed to, and that was fine. But yeah, it's they're a work in progress, and their schedule gets tougher now too.
Oh Lord.
They have Nebraska coming to town this week.
What's Nebraska, like 2 and 4?
The Big Red, yep.
Jeez.
But they've lost 2 straight in the last minute.
According to the paper, they lost their last 4 games on the last drive by their opponent. That's kind of hard to take.
That Big Ten, again, is just proven to be brutal. Wisconsin, the kicker misses a 39-yarder and a minute later gets a chance and makes a 46-yarder to give them a win.
At Nebraska.
Iowa wins by 1 touchdown. Michigan State has to battle Rutgers.
Hang on.
Ohio State seemed to be in form yesterday. Yeah, it's just a fabulous. And the surprise team, of course, has to be Michigan.
Yes.
My goodness.
Harbaugh. I don't know what he does, but
he gets them to play.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
And they're mean.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I was looking at Nebraska. I was watching that game, and they said that was their 350th consecutive sellout.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if you just average 7 games a year, that's like 50 years you have to go without having.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
It's a religion down
there. But it got to be.
But
they believe Nebraska Red.
When Todd was still alive, Lunan and I and Todd and Kyle, we took off after the Blue Jay football game in Fairmont because we all wanted to go to Nebraska once. Drove all night, got there early in the morning, and I think it was 11 o'clock kickoff, and by 6:30 in the morning, there was people in the stadium tailgating. I mean, it's like a carnival outside, and then everybody's inside, and it's packed house. So it's fun.
It is.
Yeah, really fun. Vikes in Green Bay. The Vikes played Denver pretty tough.
Yes, they did.
Lost
over at the end.
Lost 23-20, and the Vikes have a bye. And I can't tell you how much I hate a bye when you haven't even played 6 games.
I know.
It's just,
it is.
Yeah, that's tough because you're going to get beaten up at the end of the year. That's when you need them.
Yep, and you got all those other games to go.
Green Bay annihilated San Francisco.
Well, they finally beat Kaepernick. Finally beat that guy. Jeez.
To go 4-0, and the Pack will be back in Lambeau today in a summer-like setting weather against the St. Louis Rams.
We're talking 84 degrees here in Waseca.
Yeah.
I didn't see it was going to be in Lambeau Field, but jeez.
The Rams have beaten Arizona and Seattle, 2 good teams. They've lost to 2 teams that aren't so good, so you don't know which Rams team you're going to get.
I like their coach. Well, I like that guy.
Yep. So we'll root for Teddy today to go 5-0.
Just count double check, baby.
The Minnesota Lynx. Cold-blooded Maya Moore spends most of 3 quarters on the bench in foul trouble and then comes out in the 4th quarter, 12 points on the board, and hits a 3-pointer with under 2 seconds left.
Well, they had the ball out of bounds at what, 1.6 seconds or whatever it was?
Yep.
I watched it. Well, I've seen all. Well, I didn't see that game because we had our game.
Yep.
But those women are playing just like men in defense. They're just physical.
It's more and more physical.
I don't know how the officials can call it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to call something, but at the same time, if you called everything, the game would take another hour.
Yep.
But the Fever, that Tamika Catchings, she doesn't want to lose. And they remember 2012, they pulled the upset against the Lynx then, and this is going to be at Donnybrook tonight, Sunday night, baby.
Lynx lead 2-1. It's a best of 5. Game 4 is at Indiana tonight.
Correct.
If there is a game 5, it'll be back in Minneapolis on Wednesday night. So
you get your facts pretty good on the ladies.
Teddy, I do a lot of prepping for this show.
You really do.
The Minnesota Wild, Teddy.
Hey, baby. I watched them the other night.
2-1 goal victories to start the year. Down 4-1 at Colorado in the opener and come back and win. And last night beat St. Louis 3-2.
Another good game. Charlie Coyle last night. But the first night we were watching the Trappers Lanes. So us guys bowling, we got to have something to do for a little excitement. So we're watching the Thursday night football game going on. And then we're watching the Wild, and all of a sudden it's 3-0. And they're like, turn that off. All you Minnesota fans are so fair weather around here.
Yep.
And so it was 4-1 when we left the bowling alley, and I thought, I'm going to watch this comeback. Okay. Everybody else, all the kids on the football team, had shut it off when it was 4-1. I get home and I watch Parisi. Absolutely. You watch that?
Yeah.
Just gets deck folks out there. I mean, you thought he had a concussion, wouldn't get up. He pounces right up, goes to the front of the net. There's a shot on goal. Boom, he gets the rebound, puts in, it's 4-2. Boom, 4-3. Boom, 4-4. Boom, 5-4. It was good. It was fun.
Well, the most impressive part is when he went down, 9
geez.
people out of 10 would have went up and, where is that guy? Yeah. He just goes and gets in position to score.
Yep. And then they showed the coach from the Avalanche, Patrick Waugh, just chewing him after it was tied 4-4. Just give them all holy everything. They go back out on the ice. Boom, there's the 5th goal for the Wild.
So great start for the Wild.
Yeah. When all said and done,
excited.
You only got to win by 1, baby.
That's right.
It.
And finally, the last thing I have, Teddy, the baseball playoffs. And
oh, man.
Boy, this is one of those years you maybe should have said, we don't want the home field advantage.
No.
Because I think the visitors have won like 7 out of 10 games so far.
Yeah, unfortunately for Toronto, they're on the cover of Sports Illustrated this week. Jack, all the home runs. Well, unfortunately, good pitching usually dominates in the playoffs, and their home runs aren't coming through as they're down 0-2 right now. So.
You know, I watch the playoffs probably more than I do a lot of the regular season, and it just amazes me because back when we were kids, you'd know virtually every player on every team, and now they're saying names, and I'm going, who is this guy? I've never heard of him. And
remember the Twins at the beginning of the season?
Yeah,
we didn't know anybody was.
But Kershaw gets beat. He's like 0-5 in the postseason now.
Greinke got lucky last night.
Yep.
They came back.
It's just, I like that Houston team. I think
too.
they're fun to watch. They're young and they're powerful.
Well, my heart's with the Cubs.
I love the Cubs. Everybody loves the Cubs.
Madden comes in and away influences. I mean, it's good. That's good.
Well, anything else you have, Teddy?
We got Peace giving a sign.
My docket's dry.
Well,
I can throw out that former NRHEG wrestler Matt Petzinger was a 4-time All-American at MSU Mankato, and I think he was 45-3 his senior year when he won the championship. He is going into the MSU Hall of Fame this fall.
Well, that's nice to see.
Yeah. Pet's good to see. It's always fun when you see someone you recognize going into those things. Mm-hmm. So Pet's, I still remember Pet's in high school. All he did is walk up to the guy, get a headlock on, and throw him down. Then he got up to state tournament one year when he was a little younger, and he grabbed some guy, went like that, and the guy wouldn't go down. Pet's didn't know what to do.
Things change.
Yeah. So.
And who is his coach?
Where?
At high school.
The Little General.
The Little General.
Yeah. Give Paul Sear a little shout out there. Okay.
Wherever you are now.
Yeah, lucky bum retired there out there. Yep.
The pheasant hunting opener was yesterday, and the governor's opener was down in Mankato. And from reading, people were very impressed that there were pheasants in this part of the state, for one thing.
And he's also throwing out the first puck for the Mavericks. Unfortunately,
the Mavs lost 2 at home.
They got shut out. They talk about this new the Verizon Center's been refabricated or whatever for the hockey teams, and they say it's just a gorgeous facility, and then they go and christen it with 2 losses. Jeez Louise.
Well, it sounds like another nice week, people. So NRHEG, WEM, JWP fans, get out and support your team in the section opener on Wednesday night. WEM and NRHEG both at home. JWP has to travel to New Ulm Cathedral. Waseca has the whole week off and won't play till the following Tuesday. They'll be at home. So get out and enjoy.
Haley says, hey, sometime you may want to show up for the show, okay? It'd be really nice. I showed up and you didn't. Thank you very much.
And, of course, as we end every week, the crooner to my right is ready to go.
Me, you. Shannon, run the ball down the field. Shannon, the Gophers will really roll everybody because you got a Harvest Moon. That's it.
And that will do it for this week's show. Thanks to Hudson and Steve Anderson for producing the show.
Haley Bales.
And Haley
Thanks
Bales.
to Ted Hammond, my right-hand man, and his special guest.
Yep.
And thanks to you for watching. We'll see you all next week.